Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it is the beginning of our year-end review now that we're like in the holiday break of things, where we take a look at like the best cards throughout the year, the worst cards, we'll have a year-end recap of like summarizing the year, as well as a wish list for like what I would love to see in Hearthstone in 2025, and it's going to be going over all the expansions that came out this year, which includes Whizbang's Workshop, Perils in Paradise, and the Great Dark Beyond. Will also involve the delve into Deepholm mini set from Showdown, because yeah, that did come out this year, so it's valid for all of these categories. And I want to announce a giveaway. I'm trying to give back this time of year to you guys, so I'm gonna give away $100 with the Hearthstone packs, two $50 winners. To enter that giveaway, just like this video, comment down below, be subscribed to the channel, and if we do manage to hit that 90,000 subscriber threshold by the end of the year, I'll add another $100 out of my pocket. So hit that sub button, make me go broke, but more importantly, just trying to get involved and enjoy the holiday spirit. So yeah, let's take a look at what I think the best cards were. We'll go class by class in the neutrals. Deathlight had some standouts. To me, it's the card that got nerfed twice, though. Like, we could talk about Headless Horseman being a pretty good card. You know, some of the other stuff going on. But, by far, the best card for Deathlight all year, Threads of Despair, which I believe came out, yeah, Whizbang's Workshop. Incredible card. I think I gave it like a 2. I'm like, you know, you're just playing Rainbow. You don't want to play the more control-y style of Deathlight. Triple Blood's no good. No, this card's insane. It's like, it helped elevate so many different decks throughout the year. Again, this started at 1, which is just bonkers. It's still good at 3. It's still playable at 3. So yeah, for sure for me, the pick for best Deathlight card has got to be Threads. Demon Hunter didn't have like a spectacular year, I have to say. Right now there's a lot of the face stuff. There's some good one drops. There's some good cards in the mix. I will say like the Sigil still have the full dust value on this card, but honestly, I'm gonna go with the card that did get nerfed. That was a big standout to me as like, yeah, the best card for Demon Hunter is Umpire's Grasp. This was 3 mana. Death Rattle, draw a demon, and reduce its cost by 2. Of course, Window Shopper made this insane. You could get those 1 mana Mechtherodons, and it was an absolute powerhouse out there. And I feel like if it went back to 3, I still see this pop up once in a while. There's like that new pirate that can discount weapons that people play this with and makes it a lot more valuable. And yeah, the demon pool's gotten worse, but overall, Umpire's Grasp, to me, is the standout card. Druid, of course, it's Druid. Always gets really good cards, whether it's Arcanite Revelation. They got more ramp as well. New Heights in particular. I will mention that the gifts are eligible if you want to say that, you know, you think one of the best cards for a class was a gift. Malfurion's Gift, really good card for Druid with that wild growth in there. You could also make an argument for like those mini set cards at the beginning of the year, Showdown Balance, Pendant of Earth. Remember, this used to give armor. They made Ceaseless. Could you imagine you could have gained 100 armor with Ceaseless? Like, were those in conjunction with each other? Were those designed at the same time? I don't know. And Shadow Reflections used to be able to target anything and it would add it to your hand. Arguably the best card, but me, the best card by quite a bit. Recently got nerfed as well. There's a common trend here, but yeah, Sleep Under the Stars, which, by the way, it still says 7 in the collection, which is pretty funny. Also could be played by Warrior. But yeah, choose thrice, draw 2 cards, gain 5 armor, refresh 3 mana crystals. Incredibly strong card. The versatility of it, being able to gain armor, draw cards, or if you look at Wild with Yasel, gain an insane amount of mana because this is 1 mana. It's kind of spawned a whole just degenerate OTK deck in Wild, and yeah, real standout card. You got Hydration Station as well. There's a ton of good cards for Druid. I'm sure you guys will share some other ones. But yeah, for me, the pick is Sleep Under the Stars. For Hunter, I mean, this latest set for Hunter is just kind of bonkers from the Great Dark Beyond. But I just have to go Niall. Like, Niall is such a crazy card. We had like Mystery Egg got nerfed like multiple times, or buffed then nerfed and was pretty good. But Exarch Niall, being able to get that new hero power, 1 mana, discover a card from your deck. It's just nuts. This would be auto include in most classes, period. Getting that hero power, of course, there's incredible synergies that come along with it. You almost think this should come with like a requirement, but no, you just play the 3-mana 3/4, get an insane new card or just a hero power and all that. Really strong. I'll give an honorable shout out to like Rangari Scout, but to me it's just a no-brainer. Niall's nuts, and it's going to be auto include until, I mean, maybe she gets nerfed, or yeah, it's just going to be a really darn good card. For Mage, it's funny. I want to say like Conniving Conman because it's so insane, right? Like it's a rogue card technically, but Mage and Paladin use it the most. But I think we got to go with this tourist card. Absolutely insane. Portal, Mancer, Skyla. Swap the cost of the lowest and highest cost spells in your hand. It's still like wreaking havoc a ladder. Big Spell Mage is again making a comeback. We had that Supernova video lately or yesterday, and there's other versions already popping up. It's just insane mana cheat scans. What a surprise. But I gotta give it my pick. It's such a nuts card. Kagar also did some pretty good work. I'll mention like Orb and like the Elementals, but yeah, I'm gonna go Skyla and not even Tsunami, which got buffed to 10 when it was pretty good. But again, it was mostly because of Skyla and like, again, Conman, which I can't, it's a rogue card. I'm not gonna put that there, but even then I would still give Skyla the nudge over it. For Paladin, I'm going to go with a card that came out near the beginning of the year. You could argue Shroomskavate, which used to give Wind Fury, could definitely be a very solid contender for the best card of the year for Paladin, because it did come out, I think, in the mini set, right? In the mini set for Showdowns, it qualifies. But no, for me, it's got to be Tigress Plushie. Remember, this started at 3 mana. This 3 mana, same stat line, 3/2. It's got Rush, Lifesteal, Divine Shield. You get the 1/1 mini, insane with hand buffs, but just a really good card on its own, right? Just play 4 mana, heal up a bunch. Really good card. Again, there's a bunch of picks you could do for Paladin. Tareem, Painter's Virtue, that weapon. Paladin got a lot of great stuff throughout the year. And again, they could Conman and do some pretty crazy stuff, but I'm going to give it to Plushie. Plus, like the cat sound it makes when you play it is absolutely phenomenal. For Priest, they didn't get a lot of great cards. They got some, and Priest has been meta, and I'll just go for the reason it's meta right now, why it's pretty darn good. Time Winder Zarimi is just a ridiculous, insane card. 5 mana 4/6 dragon, Battlecry once per game. If you summoned 8 other dragons, take an extra turn. Remember, this started at 5 dragons, which is very little. You could play this on curve. I remember in Wild with no card draw and Pirates in the mix, you could easily play Zarimi on 5 and take an extra turn and just blow up your opponent. And even at 8, yeah, getting that extra turn, we all know how good that can be. And it's just by far the best Priest card. I don't think anything really comes close to me. There are some other good cards. You could mention like recently Brain Masseuse, pretty darn solid. And that new Orbital Halo or whatever it's called, the 0 mana Divine Shield buff card, really strong. But yeah, I'm going to give it to Zarimi. Rogue, conflicted on this one, right? I want to say Sonya because I've complained about Sonya more than like any other rogue card pretty much all year that's not Shadow Step, and please rotate that card next year. Wishlist video coming later. But I'm not going to give it to Sonya. I'm actually not. She's more of one of those cards that creates really crappy feelings and is outright OP in certain situations. I'm going to go with a card that hasn't even been nerfed, kind of under the radar. It's just so good in so many decks. I'm giving it to Quick Pick. This came out in the mini set. 2 mana 1/2. After your hero attacks, draw a card. Think of how many decks play this card and how good it was. I mean, Quasar, you would hit after Quasar, but right now, like Cycle Rogues and all of that, it's just one of those, you just throw it into pretty much every rogue deck, and even Weapon Rogue. Weapon Rogue plays this as their only weapon. This 1/2, because it just draws. It's such a crazy weapon that I feel like it's not talked about enough, right? And it's so good that, yeah, I'm gonna give it my pick. A lot of the prior, like, it feels like most of the really good rogue cards are all the neutrals that Shadow Step and Prep and the like abuse. But yeah, we're gonna go with that. Sonya, definitely up there. Dubious Purchase is up there. But again, like Conman, not really a rogue card for the most part. But I'd be very curious to see what you guys say in the comments down below about that. And for Shaman, I'm gonna go for, again, a pretty subtle card. It hasn't been nerfed. It's just so good. And that is Pop Up Book. The 1 mana nature spell, deal 2 damage. Summon 2 0/1 frogs with Taunt. This goes basically into every Shaman deck that is not like Cliff Dive, because you don't want small spells for the most part. Or no, actually you do that there too, because you have Hagatha. No, you just play this in like every shaman deck, right? And it's just so good. It gives you a little bit of taunt protection. It works with spell damage. It can go face. And just a really, really good card. I will mention, like, Wave of Nostalgia recently got nerfed. You could certainly put that one up there. The crazy board swarm it could do is super strong. But overall, yeah, Pop-Up Book, a real standout. Growth in, another one too. Really good card. Like, remember Alley Cat used to be a good card? It was just a 1-mana 2/2. You didn't really have much more synergies than that Hunter, but it was good. Now you get it with like half of it as Rush, and then you get an 8-mana 16/16 or better later with Rush on top of it. Yeah, you could kind of go with either one of those. Warlock was like a lot of pain Warlock throughout the year. Wheel of Death, Warlock, and all that. I gotta go though, mass production. This card in Wild, in Standard, just incredible. 1-mana draw 2. Which is stupid, right? And you deal 3 damage to your hero, which most of the time is just a benefit on top of that. And then you shuffle more. You have infinite fuel for whatever your condition is. Sometimes there was a drawback, your L's too low, but overall, especially when they make cards like Hearthstone, it becomes pretty irrelevant, and a card that had a huge impact in Standard. In Wild, I gotta give it to that. Warrior, it's kind of between 2 cards for me. The first being Ham the Hungry, not because the card itself is OP. At the end of your turn, eat a minion in the enemy's deck, gain +2/+2. It can win, you can scam sometimes, but it lets you play Druid cards, and they're pretty good. You got your hydration stations, your new heights. Giving Warrior ramp is pretty disgusting. You can even say like Inventor Boom, because he lets you summon mechs and all that, right? And he got nerfed, so it was different and still pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Brand. Brand came out in that mini set at the beginning of the year, started at 6 mana, and still saw reasonable competitive play at 8. And it's just one of those things where you have no duplicates, you could have double battle cries, and it is one of the most infuriating, frustrating experiences out there. He will be rotating next year, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna give it my pick for the Warrior card of the year. And neutrals. I swear there was more neutrals to consider by a mile than most of the class cards. They felt like neutrals felt at a different power level this year. We had Marin, which got nerfed. We have Ceaseless, which is incredible. We have Grifta. We had Gorgon Zormu. Pupil was 1 mana at one point. But you all know the card we're gonna pick for neutrals. It is Ziliax Deluxe 3008 different modules you could put together, pick 2 of them, and we had 5 separate nerfs to this card already. 5 in less than a year, and it is still in like 50% of decks. Even in the latest patch notes, the team said they'll likely be nerfing the card again. It is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful card in Hearthstone history, at least in terms of its resiliency to getting changed, to getting altered, to fitting into different decks. It's a bunch of cards in one, but it is made for one hell of a card, and I'd argue it's the best card of the year entirely over everything, including every class. Ziliax has just been that damn good. So let me know in the comments down below what you think the best cards were during the year, and tune in tomorrow, I believe Christmas Day, we'll talk about what the worst cards are. We're gonna give some coal in all of our stockings on that day. Anyways, enter that giveaway. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.